I'm gonna fish a little bit. Let me know if anybody shows up. And then the next big thing is to see if they can hear us. I've noticed this water's gone from green to brown. Have you noticed that?
This morning I thought it looked brown. It says you got 2 in here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Let us know if you can hear me, especially when I turn away. We got the mics on. We don't know if they're working. So give us a thumbs up or say, yeah, loud and clear, or can't hear a daggum thing. Oh, hey. Scares the crap out of me every time.
Doug Dye says hear you. I guess hear why.
Okay, cool.
6 is,
Let me know if you can.
says I can hear Stuart Glass. Doug Dye.
All right.
I can hear you is what he meant to say.
Good deal. So.
Busted right over there, bro.
Where?
Over in that shade where the stick ups.
Over there? Oh, where the stick ups are?
Way too far away from me.
Well, I'm trying to get lined up. Yeah, I seen them again right there.
At least one of us gets to be fishing right now. Damn, well, I envy you. You know, Pound Seeker says.
We figured we would get a little fishing in today and talk to you guys. We hadn't got to talk to you in a while. I haven't been able to do any live streams. So I got a little school out here, out deeper. We're on a roadbed, and they're feeding on, I believe, crawl and shad that they're pushing up here. And so we got a little group of them right here, and we'll see if we can't get one of them to come up and eat it. Oh, 2 of them come at 100 miles an hour, but decided they didn't want it. And Mike, if you want to, if you think it'll work, you want me to get that other phone out and just set it in front of you? Maybe I'll just come right over your head here. Every once in a while, he can maybe show you what's going on. Oh, what just happened?
Hey, Hank and everyone. Yak Branson.
What's going up, Yak? Going on? Can you hear me good, brother? And so what I'll do is I'll just let you set that on your knee. And every once in a while, when you guys see what it looks like, show it to them and see if they can actually see it. So it kind of floated away from where I want to be. All right, I'll ask you guys again. Can you still hear us good? So we're just going to hang out. This is going to be something that once I get out of my job, I think we're going to do. We're going to have guests come on. So we're going to just be out on the lake doing interviews. That's kind of why we've been testing the technology and everything, seeing how we can do. If you guys don't mind, tell us what the video looks like, how the audio sounds.
David Williams says here's you just fine, but then Texas says audio's a little low on his end.
Okay. What about, all right, what about right now? So when I'm turned away from you, can you hear me then?
Guys hear him now.
Can you hear Mike? So.
Says yes, a little low, Branson said. Yeah.
Low, wonder why. So is it better here Branson, when I'm looking at the camera. So what we're wondering is if the mics are working.
Audio. Everybody's saying low.
Low audio? All right.
Same little, yeah. It's the same when you turn that way or turn away.
Okay. Well, as long as you hear me a little bit, cut it up a little bit, please. We're working on the mics and we're using the iPhone for this. And it's kind of a pain in the rear end. So we got a splitter, but we think the splitter that allows us to charge messes up the audio some. So I don't know. Think those other, did we bring those other mics?
Ain't charged.
Okay, well, so bear with me.
I mean, they're in there. I don't know how much charge is on them, but we got them.
All right. So basically what we've got is we've got a creek channel right here. It comes around, sweeps, got a road bed right through here. We've caught some already on a 3/4 ounce jig. The road bed itself is about 25 feet down. Hopefully Mike can show you. Hold that up to the screen, Mike, and see if you can actually show them.
One guy said, looking at the camera, it sounds worse.
Well, that might just be my face.
Might just be his face, yeah.
Yeah, it might just be my face. It's just hurting the whole stream. Well, I got a bunch right here, and they look like they're feeding. Can you see them right there?
Trying my best. Where your phone is smashed though.
Well, that bunch didn't want nothing to do with the old jig head minnow.
Filming as usual, Texas.
Yeah, you guys got any questions? Just ask. We're going to be here for lunch. We figured give y'all something to do during lunch. We got some way on out there. See if we can drop on this group. Down there about 25, 30 feet. I don't know if you can see them right there. Well, they see my bait.
That thing's so shiny, you can't really get a good.
I want to work this ledge with a few with a jig right now, but
Texas Snoop. I don't know why I can't bring this back up and read what people just wrote.
You should just be able to slide.
Yeah, it won't let me, like when I touch the screen. Like Texas Snoop just said, I see the color change and.
Let's see. You're on the wrong side.
Where's this and that?
There.
That's on the left.
Yeah.
So he says, I see the color change in the trees. Has the change affected the fish yet?
So, you know, we shot a fishing video earlier this morning, and so one thing, this is a big thing for us. You know, we're in the Highlands Reservoir, so the lake hasn't turned over yet. We notice it's a little bit brown. We're starting to see some bubbles. So as the water temp falls, so we've been pretty warm up until just last night. The temps dropped from being pretty much in the 60s down. Now, what happens here is that the fall, and I know, man, there's a lot of, we're gonna do a video on this, but there's a couple of people out there saying, oh, fish don't migrate. Well, they don't live where I live because they sure as hell migrate here. Let me tell you. I could take you all the way up this lake about a mile to show you, or two, and show you where they migrated from to where they are here. And, you know, I'm not a pro. I don't want to get on this, but I'm not a pro, but I fish the same 3, 4, 5 lakes all the time. So I've been fishing these for over 40 years. I know where these fish are and I know where they go and where they move. So maybe not on lowland reservoirs, but they migrate on these highlands reservoirs. I can tell you that right now. Now, all that being said, the change has affected them, so they've already started moving. But what happens is they'll move down, they'll get to a spot, and then we get 80-degree plus days, 60-degree plus nights, and which is, you know, kind of summer weather for us. And they just go into this late summer kind of funk again. And so that's kind of what's setting here. You'll see a video. I mean, this spot right here, there was probably 200 to 300 fish in a 50-yard section, 50-yard by 50-yard section, but they were all spread out. And then what ends up happening for us here is that once the sun comes up early in the morning, the shadows come up, they'll spawn, or not spawn, they'll sun, the bass will chase them, but then they go to the bank, go to the bottom, go to the trees at about this time of day. So I'm shooting a little bit. I really want to throw a jig down this road bed, but kind of jig head minnow on a couple, just kind of see how many's out here. And there's not a lot so far.
London's Collins want to know where you're fishing at.
Well, we're gonna keep that a little secret. All right, if you don't care.
Brian the fisherman Baker said, "What's up, man? Hope all is well."
What's up? I don't want to. This is a very small lake. It's not a private lake. It is a public lake, but it gets a lot of pressure for as small as it is. Oh, there's a good school up shallow too. I lost my daggone Karashi today. No, that ain't it. Where's that? And so the Viva poppers paid off, but they don't seem like they really want to break the surface right now. I got a few right over here. Where'd they go? But I'll tell you this, they seem much, much deeper than what they were previously. But yeah, so yes and no, the change has affected. You know, it's just sort of this ongoing process with the bass right now. So they're, you know, these bass are on their way to their winter spot, and they're just stopping at certain spots. Like, you know, we don't necessarily have flats here. So what they're going to do is they're going to stop on this road bed, which is as close to a flat as we get. And I think I just missed those fish. I think they're moving up the road bed right here beside them.
Yak Branson want to know what state we live in. It's Virginia, Yak.
Yeah, we're right on the Virginia-Tennessee border, so you'll see us fishing.
Kaylin Williams says, "You think Kansas is on the same pattern?" Bass guy from Kansas, by the way.
I mean, they could be. They're close to the same. They're close to the same. I mean, let me know a little bit about what your temperature's been, you know. Come on. How am I missing these fish? I mean, they could be. Because, I mean, you're pretty much on the same parallels we're on. Man, these fish are being stingy.
Nick B says, "Wish I was out there with y'all."
So, what's everybody eating for lunch right now? Fat boy's got to know. Watch them, there's a brush pile right there. And they literally are going straight to it. Like I've watched these fish roam, and they are literally going straight to that brush pile.
You can't see it.
Oh, here they come up out of it. Come on. Don't be scared of it, hit it. Oh, they're following.
Here's a good question from Jay Swartz. He says, when do you see the bass shallow wolf packing? What conditions are best to be looking for it? Water temps, I believe flats or flatbacks or creek or main lake, wind-blown pockets. I'm in Texas. What do you see when do you see the bass shallow wolf packing? What conditions are best to be looking for it?
Most of the time when I see them up wolf packing, I mean, it's going to be spring or it's going to be fall. Now we're talking about, look, bass will be shallow a lot of times when they're, you know, it really depends on the condition. Like this lake has a few, well, it's got a lot of laydowns, but not all of them can't matter, right? Like a few of them are going to be where the bass are going to be. And there's one literally right there they'll load up in. I'd say we could probably go over and throw this in it right now. I know if we had a karashi, we'd catch 2 or 3 out of them. As a matter of fact, I think one popped right back there. And it's going to be in the fall. I think it's when I'm here, again, adjust this for the time of year and for the water temps your bass see. It could be the 70s and falling where you are. But I'm going to say this, if you get a steady front like we've had for the past month, they'll go into that kind of late summer funk again. So you want a front. You want rain. You want dropping temperatures. You want that cold front to come in behind them. That's when they're going to get up and start getting on those flats, chasing and feeding. And they're probably already on those flats. They're probably already there. Now, Texas, they may not have started moving depending on how far south you are in Texas. For us, and we're in, hey Mike, see if you can get that eagle. That's pretty cool. He's gonna go in the tree. Maybe not. Anyway, there's a couple of eagles on this lake. It's pretty cool. But the thing about it is, for us, is we're up in the mountains. We're, you know, a little bit more north than Tennessee. Like I said, I live right on the Tennessee border, Virginia-Tennessee border. We live on the Virginia side of it. But what we see is when the temps start dropping, and you'll see it. Like I said, we were up here a month ago, and we were in hoodies. It was kind of the same sort of day, and we whacked them first thing in the morning. And that's when I'm gonna tell you to be out here is first thing in the morning. You can get on them later in the evening, but I'll tell you again, what happens is midday, like we got a video talking about throwing a certain topwater bait. If I was throwing that bait right now, he'd be right now. Bluebird sky, I don't care, right now. And the reason why is because I know I sat on my live scope and watched a school of 15 bass just pull up on this do nothing little lay down brush pile over here. We've seen that now for years and years. That's the thing about live scope that I love. Like, we know kind of what happens at what temperatures, but like I said, one of the things that we didn't know is that on this flat roadbed, these bass were still here. They were still out, spread out, 200-300 bass just spread out in this 50-yard by 50-yard section. But we didn't know they were just sitting there suspended. Like, we'd come and throw swim baits and count them down and do all this stuff and throw top waters. We'd catch 2 or 3, But now we understand and we see how it correlates with those drop in temperatures. In the fall, it's not really about what the temperature is as much as it is that the days are getting shorter and the temperatures are dropping. And I think once you get down for us, once you get down into that 50, that low 60, 50, they're pretty much in winter mode then. You can still find them feeding, but they've gone to the bottom. Even the shad will disappear on you. They'll go to the bottom, and you know, they get a little tougher to catch then. You really got to cover water. That's when, for me, it's the late fall, early winter funk. So we hear people talk about the fall funk. That's when it really happens, when those temps do get down into those winter-ish temperatures. 58, you know, it's kind of that line. We'll see. Right here's a bunch. And man, we've thrown everything at them today. Am I making sense to you guys?
This one guy, she says, let's see, I can't read that. Have you ever tried a chrome back crank jerk bait on a laydowns during days like this?
A chrome back jerk bait?
Chrome black back crank jerk bait on laydowns during days like this.
Hey, see if you can see this right here, because I'm in the bottom of a tree, and I mean there are 30 bass down here on this jig. Can you see them right there? I'm trying to stroke this jig and fire these bass up. But there's a bunch right here. Yes. As a matter of fact, like Little John's makes this chrome brown, but I mean, I don't know if you're seeing this, but these fish are 25 and 30 feet deep. We got, you know, probably 10 to 15 feet of visibility right now. And so, and being that they're targeting small shad right now, that'd be a pretty big crankbait to throw.
That was 58-degree air temp, not water temp. When you was talking
water
about,
temp.
or was
water
it water
temp.
temp?
Air temp matters way less in the fall, truthfully,
Yeah.
than water temp does.
Gotcha. That was Devon. Who?
Because
If I butcher anybody's name, or if I don't say it, it's not because I don't like it. It's because I probably can't pronounce it. You think he's, what do you say, redneck hillbilly?
yeah,
I'm
my
straight from
hillbilly
West
starts.
Virginia. I can't help it.
My
I was born
hillbilly
and
starts to show. Man, can you see that group right there?
I've tried to get it a few times. It's shiny. I can get like.
Man, you would really just think that's such a good group of jig bass right there. I don't think they're super huge though. They don't look super active either. Man, come on. Eat that sucker.
Shannon Wallen, what are you doing?
Shannon Wallen.
He says, catch those things.
I am trying, but they are stubborn. Still ain't seen the temperature drop the way I'd like to see it right now. Still ain't seen it drop like I'd like to see it. But yeah, you guys got any more questions? Especially about fall fishing, man. Um, don't abandon. So let's talk about migration for just a minute. Let's talk about migration. So I know I seen Brian Latimer talk about how bass don't move in the fall. And that may be true on those South Carolina lakes or North Carolina lakes, whatever one he fishes the most. I think he fishes Hartwell more than any of them. But here, so what we've discovered that happens, and again, this is forward facing sonar, we've kind of figured this out. We've always known that at some point there's huge amounts of shad in the backs of what I call active creeks. So that's the key. You want to find creeks that are active. In other words, they have running water all year, because what that is doing is it's running nutrients in. But when those shad congregate in the back to feed up for winter, and that's what they're doing. They're not getting blown in there, and they're not getting chased in there. They're congregating back there because you're getting fall rains, you're getting new, nutrients and phytoplankton and all that stuff that's coming in, bugs, and so they're back there feeding. And so when they're back there feeding, what happens is the bass in that creek migrate back there. All that fuss and muss brings the creek. So all it really does is it congregates what's already there into that area. For example, 3 years ago, we fished one of the other local lakes with us. We got on a bunch of schooling shad in July, or schooling bass in July. Out in the middle, they're chasing shad. Like I said, this is all rock. It's all rock. There's no grass in these lakes, really, So what happens is you're going to get two different types of bass. You're going to get bass that live in the creek because it's so deep that when they drop these lakes, the 15, 20, 30, 45 feet, they're going to live in those areas that have deep water year round. And when the creeks come up in the spring, they're going to move back and they're going to, spread out through the whole lake and spawn. And then they're going to kind of congregate back to where they've got some deep water. They may not ever leave the creek and go to the main lake. A lot of them are going to sit there. A lot of the ones on the main lake, they're going to spawn on the main lake or in little pockets and areas. One of my best places on South Holston, everybody knows where it's at, so it gets beat up now, but was a bluff wall. Now, it was kind of a chunky bluff wall, but you go over there and catch two limits first thing in the morning, and they would spawn there. Now that's smallmouth. Largemouth, they like a little pocket, that sort of stuff. But what happens during the fall is these bass know that they're going to drop this lake. And in August, as soon as those nighttime temperatures fall, it triggers shorter days and it triggers the water temperature to start dropping. And we're not talking about the water temperature in the morning, something that is a pet peeve of mine. When we're talking about water temperature, we are talking about water temperature first thing in the morning. That's your most accurate water temp. Water temp, like right now in the evening, sure, my transducers are a foot under the water, and a foot under the water temp is going to get warmer throughout the day. But 3 foot down, 4 foot down, it's not really going to change that much. So what you get is the actual best water temp is first light in the spring and in the fall. and that is going to tell you more about where your fish are going to be, because yeah, sure, it's going to be 60, 8 today. So the water temp by the end of the day, by sundown, is probably going to be, you know, 68, 70, 71 degrees, because it's going to warm up because it's bluebird sky. So what I find in the migration is that your bass that are main lake, and what I'm going to say main lake, is going to be first third of the creek out to the main lake. Those bass are going to move out and move back, and that's where they're going to be. They're going to move from that first third out to the points of the main lake, and then they're going to move to the back. They're not going to the backs of the creeks. They're not going all the way to the backs of the creeks. What you're getting is those fish that have lived there all summer, those bass that have lived there all summer, and they're going to congregate from the mid third and the back half. They're going to congregate back into tighter areas where there's a little better feeding. And that's really about the most movement you're going to see out of bass. Now, those main lake bass, those natural roamers, when they group up, especially largemouth, smallmouth do it too, but not. I don't think they do it to the extent. Even though I know we've seen a couple of studies that say, smallmouth will travel farther than largemouth, but largemouth, we found the first third of the creek, and man, these were the roamers out there that we found about 3 years ago, and we followed those for 5 miles, these huge schools of 100, 150 bass. We followed them throughout from August all the way down to, I guess it was November, wasn't it, Mike? Until they finally went to the bottom. 50. We've seen that water temp hit that 58 degree, and they disappeared. But during that time is when I like to go to the backs of those creeks, because during that time they're congregated up, those shad are back there, they've dropped that water, at least in the lakes here. Even if they don't drop the water, it seems like that low 60s and stuff, that's when they really start to congregate in the back of those creeks.
Well, he asked, do you that the generating cycle is affected by more or less than the weather?
I'd say more. Anytime you've got current, it's going to be a positive. I think those bass are conditioned to be ready to feed because it's going to pull current. This lake here doesn't generate, but it still has current. And just around the corner here, so the main creek channel comes down, and it actually hits, Mike, show them that wall right there and all that. So it actually hits that channel swing, and it creates an eddy. So it comes down toward us, and then it goes all the way down toward that bluff, and then around the bluff is where the dam is. Well, even during the summer, when we have current, what it does is when that current makes this long run, there's a long stretch right there. And when it makes a long run, it'll hit that. Some of it comes this way, but some of it will actually backflow up into a little ditch, a little holler, and it'll backflow up in there, and those bass, squirrel throwing nuts at me, and those bass will actually set at the mouth of that, facing into that current, and it's just a tiny amount of current, right? This lake does not get fed. It's way up on a mountain, and so it doesn't get fed by rivers. This is a headwater lake, it's very much creeks. Like, you go to the backs of what feeds this, and it's ankle deep water most of the year. So it's you're not getting a lot of flow. It's a lake that doesn't generate. So even a lake that does generate, depending on how much current flow, like I can tell you Cherokee, it matters a ton. Cherokee, when they're pulling water, they're biting. When they're not, good. It's a struggle. Same at Douglas. South Holston, it matters a little bit, but they only have one generator, so it's not like they're pulling a bunch of water unless they're releasing for flood. So it'll matter a little bit there, but not as much. Yeah.
Jay Swartz says, what about water clarity? Most lakes have for areas with different water clarity in the fall.
Yeah, so what'll happen this time of year is, so water clarity absolutely matters. And so like I said, we got this road bed and we've got 12, 15 feet of visibility. So those bass are not going to be up in nothing. There's no cover, there's no grass. They're not going to be up in nothing, but like I said, they are going to be up in something. So they're going to be up in a brush pile. They're going to be sitting in the end of it, but almost always they're going to be sitting at the edge of visibility, just below it. That's even with roaming bass. During the summer, when you get out during the summer, you're going to see all these roamers, these schools, they're going to be right at that. If you've got 20 feet of visibility, they're going to be 20 to 30 feet. And I always say, whatever your visibility is, fish the 10 feet below it. Add it to the 10 feet below it, no matter what time of year. Now, during the fall, what you're going to get is I got a fish, guys, sorry. What you're going to get, I'm going to go over here and throw this daggone jig. What you're going to get is you're going to get some creeks, your shallower creeks are going to start turning over earlier. Your deeper, more stable water temps are going to turn over later. Now, in a clear lake like this, one of the best days I ever had on this is in November. They hadn't dropped this lake yet. They normally start dropping it about right now. I'm kind of amazed they're not dropping it already. But we come up here, and it was maybe it was October, maybe it was late October, and they hadn't dropped it, and this lake turned over. So it went from 15-foot visibility to like a foot. They went to the trees. They're sight feeding bass. They piled up in the trees. We took a little bug, a little, just any kind of beaver. It had a little bit of kick to it. And I mean, man, the flipping bite was crazy. This happened a few years back, like when I was way back before I had a bass boat, me and my brother, gosh, this has been years ago. Probably 25 years ago. We fished this little trolling motor only. We had a little green john boat, with our trolling motor. And we had some pretty serious rains, but a beaver dam bust in one of the creeks on that lake, and it just turned it into chocolate milk. Well, they had dropped the lake. They had been dropping the lake. So when that beaver dam bust, it kind of turned that side into chocolate milk. Black and blue jig. It was a day like this on and we'd just done, way back when Bass University done or back when BASS done the Bass Universities, and we got to go watch Denny Brower and Larry Nixon, two of my heroes. And so we got to watch them, and Denny was talking about putting an electric blue in just muddy water. I mean, and it was chocolate milk, muddy water, and taking a black jig and putting a electric blue zoom chunk, big salty chunk on it. And we wore out some big ones off of some areas where we knew there was some stump and some rock in shallower water. And that was a clear lake. So yeah, watercolor matters. I've always fished clear water, so I'm partial to the clearest water I can find, but it does make it tougher. So if you get out and you get these times like we just came off of, where it was a stable front for about a month, your best bet is to get away from the clearest water and go looking for anything up the lake in a little dirtier water or in some of the dirtier creeks. And you gotta fish to your abilities too. You know, I mean, look, I've always been a deep water angler. It's just because I mean, I grew up in clear water, right? But for me, it's always been about, you know, throwing bigger baits, heavier baits, those bigger swim baits, soft swim baits. And then on the exact other side, dink-a-linking a little stupid worm around too, right? So.
Caleb Williams said, just want to say thank you to the geek himself. I'm taking notes today for sure, learning a lot. And then I'm going to butcher this guy or girl, gal. It like you, I don't know. But anyway, hey, do you have any plans on throwing any glide baits up there anytime soon?
Yeah. Hey,
help me out with this right quick so I don't butcher this because he keeps commenting. What would you say that says right there?
Oh, I never can get his name right. I don't know what his name. That's just a screen name. But yeah,
I know, but
we got a little smaller one on this morning that we've been throwing. So they didn't respond to it real well. We got some bigger ones that we'd be throwing. I'll tell you what, if I was going to throw them right now, it would 100% be in the afternoons around laydowns or when the sun come up around laydowns. And we may, you know what, we may go do that right now. We may go do that right now. I just get so, man, I lost a giant this morning on a jig. Lost a giant right here on a jig, and it just broke my heart. We caught another good one, but I mean, man, when that fishing video comes out, just look at how it's bowed up on me.
Derek Briss says, let's go, Hank, catch a big one. Shannon Wallen says, I need to see a BassGeek geek.
Well,
me too, Shannon, me too. I've seen about, what was it, 7 today?
7 today, so. It's look, we're in the toughest part of the day. I'll tell you what.
They were freaking going nuts.
But I'll tell you.
Some technical difficulties getting this come up.
Do what?
The technical difficulty with the phone thing.
What's it doing?
Nothing, just earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
About in the middle of that flat where I lost that freak yesterday morning, Travis Lee said.
Oh. Professional overrun. That might be a sign to stop throwing a jig. God, that's bad too. That's bad. Oh no. Okay, well, I'll fix that later. That's horrible. I was stroking it earlier, so I had it a little loose.
I wonder if that was that one you caught. He said he lost one.
Oh yeah, I lost a good man. I don't know how big it was, but dude, he had me bowed up. I had him out here on this road bed right here, and he was sweet.
Shannon said midday is a weak time.
Well, you know, right now, like I said, these fish, and I'm telling you, on these days like this, they're going to be up in the water column in the morning. They're going to be up and feeding, and they're not leaving. A lot of times people think they leave. They're going to a couple of lay downs, and then on this flat, they'll come hang off that ledge, and they'll get right on top of that ledge, and they'll set their belly on that hard spot. So I promise you, those 200, 300 bass that we seen this morning, they're still here. They've just got spots they like to sit at now. So they're not as active as they were this morning, but they're just sitting there like, okay, I fed. And again, today is the second day after a full moon.
Yep.
We're in clear water. You may tell you what the worst thing in the world to go fishing during first 3 days before, last 3 days after a full moon in the fall. Stay home. Stay home unless you're going to fish. And I think that big one, didn't you tell me, brother, that big one you caught was just before daylight? So, and you was right around that you know, full moon, 6 days. If you're going to get up here, you're going to have to get up early and get them. But that's that's sort of the deal.
Jay Swartz says, how much water can you eliminate using the contour map in the fall? And then second question would be, do you have to first catch a few before using map to eliminate water with the map?
No, I can eliminate in the fall. So it's going to be a 2-tier deal. Okay. Very first thing is I'm going to find, you know, where I think the bass are going and where they're coming from, or where they're coming from and where they're going. Where I think they're going to be summering, which a lot of times again is going to be, for me, the Highlands Lakes that I fish. I'm going to look in that first third.
Travis Lee said, yeah, 6 a.m.
Yeah, and so I'm going to be in that first third, and I'm going to start working my way out. I'm going to be looking for shad. And if you don't have shad, be looking for brush piles. And if you've, and that's where I'm going to fish. I'm going to fish those target areas. If you don't have graphs, I'm going to fish those points. I'm going to fish those channel swings because they're always going to like that steep bank. They'll like the points too, but in the fall, they like them a little flatter. And but there's got to be something on there to kind of hold their interest, right? And so yeah, I'm going to eliminate a lot of places, a lot of other creeks with the map and Google Map, because again, if it's not an active creek in the fall, if it don't have water running into it, I'm not going to pay it much attention. It's got to have year-round running water. It cannot be a ditch. And you can have, South Holston is a great example. You can have big long haulers that only have a ditch, which is the difference between a ditch and a creek is what I call active water. A ditch only gets water when it rains. A creek has a creek that runs consistently in it. And that's what you're looking for in the fall. So yeah, you can eliminate a lot of water. Yeah, they're a little deeper than they were yesterday off this. And they're going
where
down.
you can get a paper map of, it says, does anyone know if you can get their hands on a paper lake map of Fort Patrick Henry Lake?
I don't think there's any maps of Patrick Henry. I don't think there's any maps of
Shannon
Patrick
said,
Henry.
thanks for the full moon. That full moon is some appreciated knowledge.
Yeah,
Donald K said, use a spy bait.
spy bait's good. I should have thrown a spy bait earlier this morning. It's slick calm as it is right now. Hard baits, not as big as a fan of. I'd like to have, I don't have my big swim bait rod with me right now. See, they're out here, they're roaming around this brush pile. They haven't gotten right up in it yet, but man, there's a big one. Let's see if I can. That must not be a bass. That was a big old. Well, they ain't loaded up in my tree yet. They're kind of down on the bottom, down on the ledge right here. So, makes me want to go back throw my jig, but since I just blew that reel up right in front of y'all, like a big dummy.
That one guy says everybody does lives have blow ups, even KVD. It's true. You got to work a lot out every now and then. It's happening in real life.
Well, it's only gonna take me. It's only gonna take me about an hour to work that on all out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just. What time is it getting to be, Mike? We're gonna cut it. Yeah, it's about 1 o'clock. So, we still got some videos to film for you geeks. I'm gonna sit down here, see if my Mountain Dew Zero is completely warm and probably disgusting. But hey, we did catch fire out of them this morning. Like I say, this time of year, water temp getting into those low 70s, upper 60s. It's when you want to be on the lake. Get there first thing in the morning. You know, locate them. A lot of times you're going to find them in areas where they're busting. You're going to find them on those areas in the flats. You know, it's funny, I talk about flats. That's a 25-foot deep flat right there. But it's a flat, and that's where they're at. And believe it or not, what they'll do from here is once this water temp starts dropping even more, they're going to move on down the lake, and there's another area right around where they winter, where there's another road bed right around where the dam is, and they will straight pile up there. And then they'll go to the bottom, and once this is a predominantly largemouth lake, and I'll tell you now, I will say this, largemouth, smallmouth, it's why I go fish for smallmouth on South Holston in the winter. Largemouth, once that temperature drops, you can get a few bites if you know where they're at in the 40s, but you hit those low 40s, 41, 42, upper 30s, 37, 38, those largemouth are done. I mean, you might as well throw a big treble hook and snag them because that's about the only way I can get them to bite. It's they are done that time of year. All right, last few questions. Anybody got anything?
2 questions, and I never thought I'd have to say this.
Jesus Christ.
This ain't how. What in the world? So the first one comes from Chris Curtis. When did you get started to drink Mountain Dew? But hold on, there's a follow-up question on this, but it's not follow-up. His was. So does Mountain Dew Zero work for a bleeding fish like Mountain Dew does? I've never heard that one.
I don't know if
I wanted to say that anyway.
I don't know. Now we had a bleeding man. We had a smallmouth.
We'd known that we would.
Yeah, we could have tested it.
Somebody done gutted him.
We had a smallmouth on the jackal riser, and I mean, or not jackal riser, on the little jumping spider. Anyway, I don't know where he went.
And Jay Swartz right quick says flats near channel swings a factor in the fall.
Money. Right here we are.
Thanks for time and great answers.
Yeah, money. We got major channel swing, big flat. So money. You find that and you just don't leave. Just camp. They're there all day. You know, Mountain Dew, back to the Mountain Dew question.
Mountain Dew just said Pepsi works good. It's the same guy that said the Mountain Dew.
I've heard a lot of different things. I don't know about the Mountain Dew Zero, but man, we caught a smallmouth today. Somebody had, it looked like a hog farmer bait on a VMC Moon Eye, you know, jig head. And I mean, dude, it was down his throat. But he swallowed the Viva pencil popper, man. And
Joey
I mean,
said at work at lunch, just saying hello. That is Joey, and TRS.
Oh, what's going on, Joey? I need to holler at you. I will this weekend, brother.
He said at work at lunch, just saying hello.
So, but yeah, we just wanted to spend lunch with you guys. That's what we're here doing.
Curtis says yes, it does work for Mountain Dew bass.
Mountain Dew. See, I've heard Mountain Dew. I've heard Dr. Pepper. I've heard Pepsi.
It does glow, guys. If you put a black light to Mountain Dew, it does some wild. You know,
basically.
So if it don't coagulate your blood, it should.
Yeah. But anyway, geeks, if you ain't got any more questions, we're gonna get off here. We're gonna get to filming. We got some good videos for you guys coming up. Talking about a lot of stuff that we're talking about right now. So good, you guys got my brain primed up and ready to go. But I'm probably gonna
got 12 viewing now and 21 likes.
All right, we appreciate you guys. All right, as always, you geeks, take it easy. Don't work too hard today if you're going back to work, and
Ben says, had no idea you were going live today. I missed most of it. But Ben, what's up, buddy?
Ben, sorry, man. I will call you. We have been busy. But, yeah, we didn't really know we was going live either.
And Shannon said, great job, guys. I love it.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank
Love
you,
you,
Shannon,
brother.
for the support.
Miss you, man. But yeah, Ben, we didn't know we was going live either. I just figured, hey, let's do a live. It's been a good day. You know, found a store that had Susie Q's.
And Shannon, I remember now, I asked you earlier, what is your downtime in the winter months? I meant to ask you that. It says, what is your downtime in the winter months?
I don't really
Shannon
have
asked.
downtime. We fish year
All
round.
year round.
We fish year round. We leave the Virginia side and we go as long and I know, Shannon, you do a lot of bank fishing, so you know you just want to find those deeper holes with less current, and man, you can light up the scoreboard during the winter time.
Steven Surgeon said, thought any more about float and fly for dice baits?
You know, I have not, but we threw some dice baits today. We had a little luck. Well, Harry Ball, we had the luck on, I guess, but same thing, you know. It's all Harry dice, Harry balls, whatever.
And Chris Curtis wanted to know when you were going to do the next live stream.
I don't know, Chris. I'm good. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing all right. I don't know, brother. Right now. I'm still working, so we're hit and miss on being able to do this. And then most of the time when we come out here, we get to fish for maybe, you know, till noon. And then we got to film 2-3 videos to keep our head above water. The algorithm, she is, you know, so got to do what you got to do to stay alive to be able to hopefully do this full time one day. And then we're going to do a lot of midday live streams. So, but all right, guys, we're going to get back to work, and I'm going to spend probably the next hour picking a jig rod blow up out. And you geeks, appreciate you, love you, and you geeks rock. Hey, drops today a new technique from Japan. It's a new top water technique. You need to watch this. All right, you geeks rock.
Hit the X.
Yeah.